Hunter Biden is back to settle scores, cracking down on journos who said Pops lost his marbles. The felon's son going on a podcast, jabbing Jake Tapper for suggested he acted like the family's chief of staff. Hunter also said, quote, "We lost the last election because we did not remain loyal to the leader of the party." That comes as Dr. Jill's work hubby, Anthony Burnell, pleaded the fifth during a congressional grilling.
Did you ever advise President Joe Biden to pardon his son, Hunter Biden?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Was President Joe Biden fit to exercise the duties of the president?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question. I respectfully decline to answer the question. I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
I love that guy in Portlandia. That was Fred Armisen, right? Dana, what do you make of his reasoning why Biden lost, that the Democrats weren't loyal?
So I just think that asking family members to be honest when they weren't honest for the last 4 years is a fool's errand. And I think it's really dumb for the former DNC chair to invite Hunter Biden on his podcast because no one in the Democratic Party, I'm assuming, wants this. It does not help them in any way. But Jamie Harrison wants to become an influencer. He wants to have a podcast. Look, everyone has a podcast. Perino on Politics, Mondays at 5. But this, I think, for Hunter Biden is almost, it's like an unfair question. What's he going to do? Not support his father? Is he going to write an op-ed in the New York Times that says, oops, we really screwed up. Here's how you can fix it.
No. You know, Jesse, have you asked him yet to be on your show?
Hunter?
Don't you think he'd be great on my show with a panel? Because you know I've heard he's a very fun guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was told by, I believe, Harold Ford that if I knew Hunter, I'd love him.
Yeah.
And that we'd party together.
Yes.
And he told me this great story about, like, he was walking around campus somewhere and some guy put his head out the window and yelled something bad about his dad. And Hunter, like, ran up to the fraternity house, grabbed the guy, knocked him out, and then pushed him out the window.
But then he just went on walking like nothing happened.
Right, and then he just kept going. So he's a loyal guy, he's a fun guy, but he's a despicable guy. And not Father of the Year, either of them. It's funny that he was like, I wasn't the chief of staff. It's like even Hunter doesn't want to have anything to do with the Biden administration. But he was on the phone with his dad every day, and he was in Wilmington, Delaware every weekend saying stuff. Of course he had a lot to do with it.
You know, Jessica, Hunter is not doing well with the paintings. He doesn't have a real job. Is it time for him to enter politics, run for office? The Biden name.
Be the way to get a job.
I thought you were going to say that you wanted to replace me with Hunter Biden.
Well, don't threaten me with a good time.
No, thank you.
This was.
Thank you, Katie.
It's really honestly unfair of Jamie Harrison to do this. Like, to Hunter Biden, to the other guests that he's had, because, you know, Clyburn, Westmore, these are people who are trying to, like, move forward in all of this. And I understand you need to be loyal. Everybody would be exercising their Fifth Amendment rights. But it is downright nasty to say that this is why they lost when Kamala Harris saved that election for so many Democrats across the country. That these swing state Senate seats that we were able to hold on to because we didn't have a minus 20-point drag because of what was going to happen if Biden had been top of the ticket. Like, you should sit down there. There is a way to be generous and praising your father on what he accomplished. There's a ton of legislative accomplishments. I talk about them all the time without denying Kamala her flowers on what happened when she had this thrown at her and had a few weeks to get it together.
She's the real hero, Katie.
I just think it's
Kamala
funny
Harris,
that,
hero.
that Hunter was saying that they betrayed the party candidate, the party leader. That's true. But he also tried to argue that the Biden administration was very successful. They were not very successful. The reason there were drags on all of these candidates was because Joe Biden was wildly unpopular on a number of levels, whether it was the economy, whether it was the border. So he was going to lose. I mean, his main argument for getting out of the race or not getting out of the race was, show me the polling that says Kamala can win. I can beat Trump. Delusional. He was always going to lose. And now he goes on this podcast and the Biden family gets screwed over again by Jamie Harrison, who's trying to have a viral moment in his new career path. And it's not helping that all these staffers who are being called in front of these committees aren't willing to say anything about what's really going on, because then the family members are the ones who are getting the questions, because they were the ones who were with him at the White House. They were the ones with him in Delaware every weekend. So the Democrats are not helping themselves or helping Joe Biden move past this by not talking about what actually happened.
Well, I will end this segment by inviting Hunter to come onto my show, and we would treat you wonderfully. It'll be a great time.
Can I be a guest?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Just keep your hands off them. Up next, lonely youngsters turning to AI for friendship.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.